Say it again, Tommy.
Hey yo, what's up guys? So Stephen A. Smith just got buck broke by the black liberal woke mob. So this all started because Stephen A. Smith has been, very outspoken and criticized Jasmine Crockett for her rhetoric and her choice of words directed at Trump and refusing to work with the other side. Anyways, after that, he's been actually saying that for months, okay? I've got all the receipts and everything in this video here. So I'll show that to you later. This clip here is from 4 months ago in an interview. This one I want to show you because just to give you a little insight background to Stephen A. Smith about how he deals with criticism from his own community.
Do you fear, when I've watched you 20 years, and I've seen when the black community comes after you, and it gets uncomfortable for you. You're very comfortable in every single situation I've seen you in, except when the black community comes after you.
All because I was outspoken, I was in your face, I was defiant, I had courage, I wasn't scared because I was thinking about more than just myself. And then my own community turns against me and you associates me with names like Sellout, Uncle Tom. Hell yeah, that shit hurt. It hurt for a long time. And when I get to our...
Okay, so the running narrative like around ESPN First Take with the show Stephen A's on is that Stephen A is an Uncle Tom sellout because he only criticizes black athletes. He doesn't, talk about the white athletes, just criticizes constantly the black athletes like Kyrie Irving, with this whole vaccine COVID issue. But that's the running, narrative about Stephen A. Smith, that he only goes after black athletes. This clip here is Stephen A. Smith talking about why he didn't vote for Trump. Had nothing to do with policy. Listen to what he says here.
President, what I'm saying to you, this is why I didn't vote for him. Something that I've said publicly on many occasions. I don't like how he acts. I don't like the name calling. I don't like the belligerence. I don't like the vindictiveness. I'm not talking policy. Because the fact of the matter is the prism of history tells us whether a policy is beneficial or not. Do I like him scaling black, a connection to black history, the Smithsonian Museum and other things with executive orders? No, I do not. But I'm not sure I disagree with the tariffs just yet. I certainly don't disagree with what he's done with immigration because I thought it was necessary because of what Biden did. Last time I checked, the economy hasn't collapsed.
2028, say you run. What are your top 5 values that you're running for in specific order?
Me personally, the economy is always number one.
Okay.
And so that's how I view it. And that's why the economy would be number one. Okay, the economy would be number one. That puts the border at number 2 because the border, whether we want to admit it or not, could catastrophically affect an economy. Of course, number 3 on my list is safety. Safety in the streets of America. Let me tell you something right now. I hate to say this because as a black man, we don't want... The incarceration rate, the discrepancy that exists, we pay attention to that. We recognize issues like recidivism and stuff like that. We understand it all. But you think some of these GOP members or even Trump himself is bad. You don't want me in office. Let me tell you something. We're going to throw your ass in jail. So those are the kind of things. We got the economy. We got immigration. We got safety in the streets.
What's 4 or 5?
National security.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? National security. I'm big on that. I like a strong military. I like peace through strength. I believe in that. Okay. And I would say, I don't want to miss anything, so if I'm wrong about this, but foreign affairs matters because I'm not a nationalist. I'm more of a globalist. I'm a nationalist first. I don't mind America first. I don't like America only. Be as worldly as you possibly can be. Have more allies than enemies.
Just so
That's
you
how
know,
things- yes.
none of these policies are policies of the left.
I'm aware.
4 out of 5.
I'm aware. But here's what you're
right.
missing. Here's what you're missing about me and what I keep saying about the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
The reason why I would never win, as you would say, because you always tell me I'll never win, because
Not on the left. They will eat you up
they would
alive.
eat me alive, right?
Yes.
For how?
Okay, so Stephen A. Smith is a conservative, like a closeted conservative, but he always says he's independent, because he's socially liberal, fiscally conservative, but socially liberal. I don't know if I believe him or not. I think he's a closeted conservative, but the fact that he can't come out publicly because of his community, the backlash he'd receive, that's the only reason why I think Stephen A. Smith is not conservative publicly, a Republican. He will never admit that in public. You could just tell if you listen to everything he said in the first couple minutes in this video that I showed you. He is like on the right. Okay. But that said, I want to play you the clips here of Jasmine Crockett, a couple clips of what she said about Trump, then Trump's response to her, and then a few clips of Stephen A. Smith calling out Jasmine Crockett, because that's the whole point of this video. Stephen A. Smith basically got a ton of backlash because he's been criticizing Jasmine Crockett, her rhetoric towards Trump, the things she calls him. and basically her refusal to work with the other side. Okay. So he criticized her, and then all of a sudden, he had everybody in the black community coming after him. Roland Martin, few other people. I just can't remember the names, but I'll show you the clips there later in this video. But everyone was coming after him. Stephen A. responded, standing strong, refused to, bend the knee, and doubled down. Then another week later passed, and then he finally gave in because the backlash was just so severe. Everybody was coming after him. And then he finally, bent the knee. So let's watch this clip of Jasmine Crockett and stuff and the rhetoric she's been saying towards Trump.
The stuff that we see that's going on. Listen, Donald Trump is a piece of shit. Okay, we know that.
I don't even know what to call him. I've called him so many things. But this wannabe Hitler, for sure.
Crockett recently.
Jasmine Crockett. Remember what I said? Is she a relation to the late, great Davy Crockett? I don't think so. Jasmine Crockett, let me tell you, before you even ask, she's a very low IQ person. I mean, if we ever had to pass an aptitude test, that's the one should take one because she shouldn't even be in the crowd. So I have no idea what you're going to, but I don't think we should waste our time. This is a low IQ person.
When I hear Jasmine Crockett talking about how I'm just against all things and everything Trump, is that legislating? Isn't it an obligation that you have to come up with something?
So this is from 5 months ago, back in May. So he's been criticizing her throughout this time up until now.
If the other party is in office, you have to go from thinking that you're going to get what you want if your party was in the White House, and instead transitioning to how can I work with the other party to get some of what I want because I know I'm not going to get most of what I want because they won the election. How Jasmine Crockett chooses to express herself, I'm like, is that going to help your district in Texas? Aren't you there to find a way to get stuff done as opposed to just being...
All right, I'm going to skip over some of this.
The president of the United States out of his name.
Because he says basically the same stuff.
That's your job. This educated, brilliant black woman representing over 7.
So, he made this video after the backlash. I think the backlash came on October 12th, but he doubled down in this clip. He refused to bend the knee.
150,000 people is engaging in verbiage and rhetoric for the streets. And that's fine when you're in the streets. One sounding like that. I know she's intelligent. I know she's accomplished. I know she's smart. That's not what I said. What I said was, that's not how you sounded. You sounded belligerent talking about the president. You're a
Still
representative
doubling down.
Representing the state of Texas in your district in Texas.
Doing power.
Okay. So I'm going to play you the clips of the backlash he was receiving from his community. Right here.
To find a way to get what you can for us.
He's been running his mouth a lot, as he's always running his mouth.
One thing I will notice about the black community when it comes to politics, there is no thought process. It's just, if you say something that goes against, their narrative, the Democrat Party, they're just going to attack you personally. They won't criticize anything that Stephen A. Smith has said. What did he say? He criticized Jasmine Crockett for her rhetoric towards Trump and refusing to work with the other party, right? The other side. That's all he said, and which is true. Anyways, let's just get into this clip here.
And he just has a particular disdain, it seems, for black women and black women who are doing powerful things. And Stephen A. Smith doesn't really even appear in black spaces like that to be able to even have a comment. He needs to leave her alone. He's spending all of this time talking about, you shouldn't bite the hand that feeds her. You don't want to upset the boss. Trump is not her boss. Her boss is her constituents. And she's out there every single day fighting for them. And I just heard a story over this weekend about how she had to get fitted for a bulletproof vest because of what she's dealing with. And people like Stephen A. Smith of the world are making it worse for her. So I continue to applaud what she's doing. I continue to applaud the way she just shows up and does her job. And she's got to deal with it from the Stephen A. Smiths to the Laura Loomers of the world. But luckily, she knows that you and us and everybody in our sphere have her back. But she shouldn't have to be out there being targeted like this. But when you're fighting for the people, when you're fighting for the truth, you are going to get haters like that. And I'm hoping that Stephen A. Smith has gotten enough blowback that he will leave her alone.
Okay, so what did this man say? Did he actually, talk about what Stephen A. Smith said about Jasmine Crockett? No. All he said was, Stephen A. Smith has disdain for black women. Stephen A. doesn't appear in black spaces, which is not true. He's obviously in a ton of black spaces. And the third one was that he said Trump was her boss, which he never said. So this is just all BS rhetoric, okay? Like they're just attacking Stephen A. Smith. Disdain for black women. Have you ever seen the cast of First Take? Have you, like, yesterday or earlier today? There were like 2 black women and one, Jay Williams. 4 people were black. The panel was black, and 2 of them were women. Anyways, let's see the next one here.
That he will leave her alone.
Stephen A., you make it easy for people to criticize you. And look, we cool. You can text me, I can text you, we can talk, we can communicate. I'm fine with all that. You can give your opinion. You can say, Crockett, her tone is wrong. But I better hear you calling Republicans out. But let's say
He did. He called out Trump. What did he say about why he didn't vote for Trump? He said that because of his rhetoric, the way he talks, the way he goes after people, with his words. So he's called out Trump for the same thing.
don't even do that. That's all. Fine. You can criticize Jasmine Crockett all you want to.
Okay.
But, bro, you got to get your facts straight.
Let's see if he actually brings up the facts that aren't straight.
And you're popping off and running your mouth, and none of your facts are straight. And that's what makes you look silly.
All he says is you don't have your facts straight, but he actually never gives proof. There's no receipts.
And see, had you had your facts straight, I would not have had to do this segment. Because I would have had nothing to work with. But you exposed yourself for your lack of political knowledge. And what's happening is these television bookers are putting you on because you are in quote mode. You say things that go viral, and they get excited by that. So guess what? The bookers at CNN and the bookers at Newsday, that's why Chris Cuomo ain't got no ratings. That's why he pulled Bill O'Reilly out the crypt and got you debating him. We know what all that is, and that's fine. Guess what? I don't care. That's great.
See, did either of these two people, actually go after what Stephen A. Smith said about Jasmine Crockett? No. Actually, Roland Martin actually said, okay, yeah, go after her, but go after the other side too, which he did. He went after Trump. The first black gentleman, all he did was criticize Stephen A. Smith, that he has disdain for black women. See, it's a common rhetoric. This is the problem with the black community. When it comes to politics, it's just, you're an Uncle Tom, you're a sellout. Tell me another community that does that. You ever hear Asians or Indians or South Asians, Hispanics have certain words like this for, just because you support the other side? Because same thing goes, although blacks overwhelmingly vote Democrat, most Asians vote Democrat too. Probably like about 70%. But there's no terms for, an Asian voting, for the Republican side or Hispanics. It's only in the black community. And this is what's wrong with the black community when it comes to politics. It's just like, if you don't agree with me, you're not on our side, you're a coon. You're an Uncle Tom. You're a sellout. That's just stupid, okay? Stop attacking, stop with the, personal attacks. Attack what they said. Attack what Stephen A. said. He didn't say anything wrong. He called her out, and I showed you the receipts of Jasmine Crockett attacking Trump, calling him a wannabe Hitler, a fascist. I don't know what else there is. Like, Stephen A. Smith didn't do anything wrong, but here he is. He's going to bend the knee right here because he's going to apologize just because of all the overwhelming pressure that's come his way from his community.
I wanted to take a moment because I saw something disturbing in regards to President Donald Trump and how he came at Representative Jasmine Crockett.
Only after he came at her. Oh, she came after him.
And I wanted to take this opportunity to attack this issue as it pertained to me and Jasmine Crockett because I personally have had an issue with how things have been misconstrued and misinterpreted.
Nothing
was
was
misconstrued. I have to own it. And that's what I'm going to do today. And so when somebody says to me, Stephen, rather than point to her and her verbiage and her language and how she talked about the president, what about how he talks? I have no problem with that. I can understand that. And if that is the reason that everybody is in an uproar, that is fine.
He was responding
and I have no
to
problem
her.
apologizing to that to my sister because, damn it, I want her to know I don't feel that way about her. Just like I didn't feel that way about Kamala Harris. Just like I don't feel that way about the marvelous, the wonderful, the incomparable, the greatest first lady ever, Michelle Obama, in my estimation, or anybody else. But what we're going to do on this show is understand who the hell I am and how it's going to be as long as I'm doing this show. I have no problem apologizing. If I'm wrong, I have no problem apologizing if I've made somebody feel a certain kind of way. But I'm going to challenge the legitimacy of what people come at me with when I think that challenge is warranted and deserved. If you came to me and you said to me that it came across as a bit dismissive, Stephen, you should have been more protective of her than that because look at how he speaks. Look at how they act on Capitol Hill towards her. I understand that. But when somebody tries to take that to accuse me of being disrespectful or in any way misogynistic, I'm going to push back on that because that's emphatically false. There's no truth to that whatsoever, and I'm not accepting that, and I'm not owning that. I can sit up there and I can look at Representative Jasmine Crockett. Do you know what I think she should be doing? I think she should be competing for the Senate seat in Texas or for the Attorney General spot because she's qualified. I personally think Kamala Harris should have ran for governor of California. I've said it for the record that if Michelle Obama was running for president, she would have beat Trump, in my opinion. I think she'd have done it. That's how I feel. But somehow, some way, it's never enough for some people out there. I understand. I would advise you to get over it or buckle up because I'm not going away. This is my show. I will say what I feel and I will do what I want. It doesn't mean I'm going to be insensitive. It doesn't mean that I don't care about our community. A matter of fact, most of the trouble I get in is because I care about our community. And the reason I'm bringing this up and the reason that I'm willing to attack this subject, because this really ain't about Jasmine Crockett. I respect her. I wish her nothing but the best. I was simply asking a question. That's all. What's working for you? Because I don't want her to lose the prowess that she has. I want it to continue to gain and elevate. We need resistance to what we see going on in the streets of America. I asked a question.
I don't know if this is apology or like, because it doesn't really sound like one. He keeps like defending himself, although he apologizes, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like a real apology.
I get it now with Trump feeding into that nonsense, giving him fodder or ammunition to continue to go out there and talk about our black women that way. I got it. I don't like that at all.
He didn't come after her first. She came after him. Look, listen, I kind of agree with Stephen A. Smith. Like, I don't love how Trump talks. Like, you know, it is funny, but at the end of the day, it isn't really that presidential. But I don't know. He's kind of changed the game now. So it is what it is.
I want to be associated with nothing like that. And I apologize because I respect the hell out of Jasmine Crockett and what she has accomplished. I absolutely do. And I appreciate the fact that she feels compelled to fight the way that she fights because of what she's dealing with. I've been a journalist for over 30 years. I don't want enemies. I truly don't. But I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to call it like I see it. It should be done respectfully. It should be done with the sensitivity that it needs to be done with. I get it. I understand. But I'm going to be me. I'm going to call it like I see it. I can look Jasmine Crockett in the...
And you did call it like you saw it. You told Jasmine Crockett that she was, you know, her rhetoric was crazy and that she should tone it down and, you know, work with the other side. That's what you did. But why are you apologizing? I don't get it, Stephen A. There's nothing to apologize about. I know you're getting backlash.
To say I'm sorry for any kind of noise I caused in your direction. Because she is accomplished and she is smart and she does have an incredible challenge working in this political climate on Capitol Hill. I got it. And when Trump came at her like that, I said, damn it. I was pissed off because I said, that's what they're talking about. When they're saying, you know what, when you question something about her, it's going to invite that. I understand.
1 second here. Trump, I don't want this to be a racial thing that Trump has called only Jasmine Crockett low IQ. Trump has called so many people low IQ, you know, black or white. Okay. So this has nothing to do with, Jasmine Crockett or race or anything like that, because that's what a lot of people were trying to say, that he was going after her because she was black, calling her low IQ. Called Chuck Schumer low IQ, Bernie Sanders low IQ.